Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, the Skeleton Aggro. So I wanted to try out Skeleton Aggro deck because it seems pretty cool and Halloween came early this year. So I went ahead and crafted, I think I need an extra Gisa or two. So I crafted this and I throw in a shell here that is pretty standard for a current Skeleton Gisa deck. She is such a good card. Basically, whenever you crime, you get a 2/2 skeleton. Oh, you get two blue and black skeletons, but they're not 2/2 because she also lords the skeletons. +1/+1 and menace. So all of your skeletons are now +1/+1, right? So it summons 2/3/3s along with all of other skeletons as aggro. So that's the idea of this deck. But as you'll see in today's games, this doesn't pan out. It's not Gisa that gets us the game. It's just good old tiny creatures with big attacks, right? Forsaken Miner 2/2 keeps attacking. Tinybones steals potentially their creatures. We got Case of the Skeletons that can, just stash a skeleton away and attack him with it. We can Deep Cavern Bats attack with a 1/1, but also take one of their cards and we just keep aggroing to the die. That is what this deck does. Let's talk about a deck list, which is very short and simple, right? In a 1-drop, we have 4 Cut Down and 4 Tinybones Join Up. These are our interaction cards, sort of. Tinybones definitely can help us trigger crime with ETB, but also make our opponent discard a card. Cut Down kills one of their creatures. Then we have 4 Forsaken Miners and 4 Tinybone, the Pickpocket for the skeleton side. Forsaken Miner is pretty good because whenever we commit a crime, we can pay a black to bring it back. And what you see our opponents do sometimes is that when we play our Bat or when we play our Tinybones Joins Up, our opponent will use their removal on Forsaken Miner for some reason, and then we just do a crime and then bring it back. So our opponent, we're definitely playing to our opponent's ignorance of our cards. In the 2-drop category, we're gonna have 4 Stash. Case of the Stash Skeleton, which is a 2/1 skeleton on its own, which is not that great, but also it eventually becomes a demonic tutor, which is pretty good. And then we have 4 Deep Fried Bats. This card is always good in any black deck. If your deck has a swamp in there, better make sure you have 4 Deep Cavern Bats, because this card basically wins everyone every game. Look at your opponent's hand, take their best card, and put it aside for a while. Unless they have removal, it's going to be there until they lose their game. So this card is really good. Right, and then we have, instead of 4 Go for the Throw, I wanted to go to 2 to have 2 Go for the Throw and 2 Long Goodbye. A lot of people think, hey, Long Goodbye is really good against Rafine, so you can kill Rafines that way, but is it really good in today's best of 1 matchup? And what I've noticed for Long Goodbye is, what you can kill is a face down, was it Code Breaker, whatever that 2/1 that mono red always runs, that they want to flip and draw 3 cards. Guess what? If they pay 3 mana to morph that, it's gone. We don't even have to pay the ward, it's just gone. So yeah, Long Goodbye is there for also going against ward creatures, or not warded. What is that called again? The face down ward, whatever it's called. But anyways, the fake morph creatures. And then in the 3-drop, we got 4 3-drops in Corpse of this Loss. Make our skeletons +1/+0 haste. Haste works really well with Forsaken Miner as well. And also, whenever it comes in, we get a 2/2 skeleton, which is technically a 3/2 haste, because the Corpse of the Loss makes the skeleton haste. In addition to that, every time we every time we descend it, we can pay 1 life to bring it back. There's a lot of descend in this deck as well. Creatures die all the time, so we can bring it back and then cast it again for more skeleton goodness. And then we have 1 Kavrak. I really like Kavrak in the new meta because every time we crime, we get to chain our crime. So Kavrak is really good, especially when you're flooded. And then we have 3 Gisa, the Hellraiser. I don't have 4. I will probably run 4 if I have it, but I ran 3 and 1 Kavrak instead, because Kavrak is really good and Gisa is pretty fun, right? Gisa is always good at just sticking to the board and making our opponent cry because we got so big of a board. But she's not a win con on her own because she doesn't commit any crime and she only makes 2 3/3s, which is 6 power. Along with her, that's a total of 10 power. If we don't win that turn, our opponent can sunfall us, but we still die. She's also a 5-drop, so it's not very easy to cast an aggro deck. So don't hold off on just winning with Gisa, and don't craft if you don't have any. You might be able to win without that many Gisa. Have 1 or 2 in the deck, that still is fine. I think most of the deck just wins on the aggro side on its own. And then the land base, I have 24 lands. I'm not sure if these are the best versions, but 24 lands might be justifiable. 19 swamps, 1 Takenuma, because I want to be able to play our early game cards. And a lot of these are just 1 black pip, so I definitely need to have a swamp in the early game. Takenuma, of course, also good to bring back a creature. 2 Field of Ruin, which can help us trigger crime. And then 2 Sandstorm Verge can help us trigger crime. But not only that, also makes our opponent unable to block with one of their creatures. And if they only have one big blocker, we can go all the way through and kill them. So yeah, that's the whole deck list. Let's go into the games. Okay, our opponent's gonna beat the Blackened Moss. We're gonna go first. We got Tinybones. Good enough. Did I put the fault in here? Why did I put the fault in here? I don't remember why. But let's go. Tinybones time. This is non-land permanent, right? Non-land permanent. Alright, so let's... I'm kind of afraid of what he has. Let me see what you have. What the heck? Enchant artifact or creature? -1, -1. Alright, so... He's also skeleton aggro, but he's probably going to kill my car with that. So maybe it would take his Generous Visitor. Makes it so that he has to play the whole... yeah. Let's do it this way. If he wants to kill my deep fried bat, he's using his claw thing. I can get it back with Tinybone. If he wants to kill his Tinybone, he'll never get back his Generous Visitor. So I got a bunch of things going on for me. There it is. Kills the Tinybone. Makes me discard. No, not even making me discard a card. Raid. He's a Ray Shadow Legends me. All right, let's get a Kavrak on. Deep Fried Batten. I think I'm using the wrong deck. I feel like this is the deck that we're using for the Midweek Magic. Hopeless Nightmare. I gotta discard a card. This does make a treasure, right? Yeah, I can make a treasure. That's interesting. But the other land's better. Ooh, I can Deep Fried Bat him again and get a Tinybone. Kami. I think this is pretty good. Do I want to minus him? No. Whenever he casts, so he doesn't cast this way. We can take his skeleton. If he gets no skeleton, I can take this. Let's take a skeleton. This is not lifelink. His vehicles get menace, which I mean, like, sure. Kieran. It's a lot of good cards for me. Has he having enchantment hit the graveyard? He has not, right? So his Kami will die for nothing? That seems fine. Restless Cottage. Alright, I don't have any black cards in the graveyard, so Kavrak's not really doing anything for when I target him, but I don't target him, so everything will be fine. I get a skeleton, I get a miner, I miner in skeletons. Let's get some attacks through. We're getting a little bit of life. We're at 15. He can put a +1/+1 counter on something, but he has to attack to get damage through. That's a 3/3. 3/3 with menace. It's gonna target my one land here. Okay, I can't block that. I have to take the 7, right? Yeah, okay. That's fine. I got another skeleton. I can make the 1/1 not be able to block, but what does that do for me? He's not going to block the 2-1 or the 2-2. If I take another 7, do I die here? No, I don't, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 damage. Most of the cards can't block anyway, so might as well attack with it. It's gonna block the Cavalry, yeah. He's at 11. I can deal 9 damage. Then with this I can deal 11 damage, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So maybe we're almost there, right? If he turns the Restless Cottage life to attack me, then he's tapped out, yes. I'm not dead, but you might be. He gets food tokens. He thinks he can block with the Kirin, but what if you can't block with the Kirin? Ah, GG. The money. What about the money? Is that how the saying goes? I don't remember. Anyways. Okay, our first opponent's gonna be Mr. No Name. He has no name, but he has a name, which is No Name. Alright, we got a little bone and a little bat, so good enough to go first. I don't have Join Up, which is what I always want to have turn 1, but a Tinybones just as good. I did not mean to GG. I meant to say that this GG thing is really bothering me. It's always accidentally going there. It's a cacophonous grandpa grab. Alright, so what I want to do is bat him and then attack, or do I want to attack then see what happens? Let's attack first. I don't think he's gonna block. He blocks, good for me. That's only 1 damage to me, and now I can deep fry bat him. Okay, there's a lot of rage and a picnic ruiner, so maybe we ruin his picnic. Maybe we ruin his ruby. Yeah. No mana rock for him. If he wants a picnic, that's fine. I got a long goodbye for him. Just waiting on his picnic basket. Alright. So, I do have a choice, right? If he has a protection spell, I'm going to be really, really sad that I didn't just long goodbye him this turn. There's no counter spell, so holding up a long goodbye is not the best thing. So I'm actually going to do it right here. This forces him to not have much. Now, he can definitely have aggro, but without the picnic basket, he can't do that much damage to me that quickly. So, are we going to get our skeletons out? He's going to kill our Tinybones? Oh, that's mean. Or maybe he's just reading it. Reading what the Tinybones do. So now we are out of value, right? So that's why I thought about playing Kavarak last turn and let the picnic basket do its thing, but you can't let the picnic basket do its thing. It's too good. It's 2/2, basically double strike, because he can pump it and it will have double strike, right? So with 1 monster's rage, it's already a 5 double striker, and then if he gets another monster's rage, that's 7 double striking, trample. So that's like 14 damage all of nowhere. That'd be dead before we even think about it. Our opponent's rope. Our opponent's rope is our reward, so maybe we get our own scrap if he doesn't do anything. Alright, I don't have anything I want to cast in the graveyard, right? So I think I'm just gonna scramp him. The Cavalry is not gonna be that useful. Or not scramp him, I'm gonna tiny bone him. Maybe I'll take his scramp. I think there's a burn spell coming. There's a rope, that's for sure. This is aggro players always rope, right? They got Ruby, it's out. I'm gonna attack. Does they have a burn spell or a instant creature? There's a stick. Something's happening. See, the problem with these kind of deck is that when you hit off, it feels great. But when you don't, you get a situation where now I have 5 swamps in my hand. Out of the 10 cards I drew, half of them were lands. I'm not running half lands, and they're definitely not all swamps. So this has been a really bad draw, but still our opponent can't fight what we have. So we might be able to pull it out. Tinybones is just a really good card. Alright, they're roping. They finished that rope. They're gonna rope again. Yeah, that's today's arena experience for everyone. So we can cacophonous scrap him, which I think is good. Pick the Gruner is also good, but that's the thing, right? I'm not really quite sure. I think the scamp is better. I'm gonna do the scamp. Because if I do the scamp this turn, I can actually play the Kavrak, and I have a lot more tempo on board. I don't think he has an exile spell. He's just holding up his monster's rage. Alright, so with the scamp, I can also commit a crime by when a scamp dies, I can target. So yeah, now I have a lot of crime going on. Maybe I can get back the long goodbye with the Kavrak. Maybe even the Tinybone, if I needed to do that. I feel like there's a lightning strike in his hand. But he didn't have anything, he was just holding up rope. So yeah, Mr. No Name also has no place. Now he's got a scamp. He's gonna pump his scamp. Yeah, I don't think that's that good of an idea to pump the scamp that turn. Ooh. Can't block this turn. If I make him can't block, it costs 4 mana. Whereas if I... if he monsters rage, doesn't he just waste that? Yeah, I don't want him to make him not be able to block, right? That's 4 mana, which means I can't do anything with my extra 1 mana. He has only a Picnic Ruiner. But I could attack with a Tinybone and the Scamp and see how he blocks. But then he's probably trying to get back his Ruby, right? That's fine with me. The bat did his thing. Maybe it's better to play a land this turn. He's blocking Tinybone. He's gonna Monster's Rage the Scamp. Alright. It's gonna be able to deal 4 damage somewhere. So I'm gonna decline this because I cannot bring it back, right? Now play a land. Don't need to show my Tricks land. Trickster Hobbises. But yeah, see, I drew 5 lands. Number 6. I drew 11 cards. 6 of those are lands. I don't really mind having bad draws. The worst kind of game is when you have bad draws, but you have to play it out with players like these that I think they're new. They gotta be new. They're taking like 4 hours for their turn, and I just had to wait. And we might inevitably lose because our draw has been just bad. So the other play I could have done last turn was to make a creature not be able to block. And then I can go in for maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, the Tinybones 3, and then the Kavrak will be 3 more, so 6 damage. And then on the backswing, his Cacophonous Scamp can just attack, Monster's Rage, and then sack. And I probably will just lose another creature anyways. But I will still have my Tinybone. So, oh, look at that. Just 12, 7 out of 12. So we're in a situation where we're definitely not going to win this game because of how Arena has decided we don't win this game. I don't actually know what we can do here. If I knew that I was only going to draw lands, I might have just played the Sandstorm last turn and make the Scamp not be able to block and then just try to push through with more damage. And he can only kill 1, right? So I will keep either Kavrak or Tinybone on board while taking a buttload of damage. That's okay with me because then both of those are constant value engines. Now I have no value engines. I didn't know that I was going to only draw lands. The whole deck is full of value engines and not that much lands. But this is the worst feeling. because you know you're probably gonna lose since you're only drawing lands. But you can't quit the game because you haven't lost. In fact, I'm in a leading position. And our opponent just ropes. Maybe we just wait till they rope out and we win. That's another choice. You see this no? Yeah, let's wait for that first. Can I decline? No. You see the no pet here? Yeah, no pet means they're bad at the game because pets are free. So the fact that they don't have any pet means that they probably just started and they don't know how to play the game, so they didn't know how to get the pet. Or they don't want a pet because they don't even care about, you know, the aesthetic. They just want to come online and get some wins, which, I mean, why don't you just play mono red? And this is basically mono red, to be fair. Ugh. Alright. Everybody's got to start somewhere. But do you have to start here? He's got goats. It's suspected. Alright, well, good for him. I'm gonna draw another swamp. That is not a swamp, but that's a third tiny bone. I can't actually block it, so is there a point in me trying to kill it? You can monster's rage, and then the scamp doesn't do anything, right? So he's just gonna pump the heck out of his creatures. And rope every turn. I mean, seriously, Arena, like, this is unfair. It's just giving him rope. Giving these kind of player rope is not conducive to a good experience. I remember Hearthstone, where if your opponent ropes for like a long time, the next rope is burning a lot faster. That is a good design. When, you know, Blizzard team's not out there harassing people, that was a good design. Now it's just feels bad. We're playing this game. Everybody loves Magic, but the best thing about paper Magic is you can, you know, trash talk your opponent to their face while they're taking forever. Can't do that here. Yeah, you got your goat attacking. You can deal more than 1 damage to me because my bat is gaining more life, so you need more than just 1 damage. He also needs creatures, right? So if he attack, well, the suspected creature cannot block. Alright, let's see if they're even in a game. They should not be salty. There's no justification for them being salty. They take an hour for their turn. They suck at the game. I had the worst draws. I mean, like, what did I draw? All of the 13 cards I drew, 7 of them are lands. 3 of them was the same legendary 1-mana Tiny Bone. And yeah, 1 card I have on board is his creature. So, come on. Stop being a coward and play the game. Stop being neutral. Alright, let's just cycle through these. I really like these emotes. I wish there were more. I mean, I know there are more. I wish I can have more. In fact, I wish I had more than like a list I can choose from, like in Mario Party. That's more fun, right? They're fun, but they're limited. Just gotta play this out. Also, Leagues, I believe has a was it a report player sort of option. I don't know why Arena, like, how many years has this been out? It's 2016. It's almost 10 years. When it was in beta, it's justifiable. There's no observer mode. There is no report mode. You got to be able to report your opponent for these kind of plays. You can do that in tournaments. If you design this for a tournament, you should be able to do that. This is basically just slow play. Alright, let's play a land first because I might want to play his stuff with my tiny bone. My bones are tiny, but they're strong. I can commit a crime whenever, so this is a good discard fodder. What do I want back from his Picnic Ruiner? Yeah, see, he still has a rope. He just waits till the end of each, like, rope, and then click next to frustrate opponent. Can I report him? cannot. Yeah. See, like, these are the people who are actively making the game worse. See? His rope never burns all the way up. He just waits till it's almost there. And I can't aggro him fast enough because of my draws. So I gotta wait to, like, how many turns have we gone through? This has been 15 minutes. Look what's on board. 3 1-1s versus his 1-1-1. This has been 15 minutes. So skeleton aggro. He's waiting for a rope to burn. See, he clicked it, so he still has that 1. You see that? He's about to click it right here. Watch. Watch how closely he waits till the rope burns up and then he clicks it. Oh, he actually used that one. Maybe he had a stroke. Alright, still going. Still going. Why don't you just cast your Monster's Rage on mine, creature, so we can get this faster? See how he clicks it? So yeah, let's Tinybone his creatures first. Let me get a Picnic Ruiner. I have one now. Can I cast the other side of it? That would be funny if I can. Because I know that if I cast things from my opponent's deck, I can. If I cast the adventure side. Ooh. I can. Wow. Okay, I did not know that. 3, right? Actually, do I want 3 that way? Let's put all on my scamp. I can actually never cast the Picnic Ruiner. Because it's red, and I don't have red. Which is funny. Do I want to deal 4 damage right now? I decline. So yeah, I can never cast this. So I thought about maybe I just distribute it. But next turn if I attack and he doesn't block, I can just deal 4 damage to him. And if he only has 1 creature, it's going to be hard for him to block. Yeah, you gotta be able to report your opponent for slow playing. I know that every Magic player will then report every one of their opponents, but there's gotta be a system where, like, you see the frequency of the rope, and then compared to, you know, report slow play, and you see the frequency of the actions done, and you know that your opponent is just slow playing. 20 minutes for an aggro game where all we have are 1-1s. That is... yikes. Right? Alright, now we have a Picnic Ruiner that we might be able to cast if we somehow get a treasure. Is there anything in this deck that makes treasures? No. Right? Gisa doesn't make treasure. If we have Shambling Gas, not in this set. At least they have 0. So if they burn out, they burn out. But they're getting a whole rope. If this was a tournament, he'd probably lose the first game after, you know, slow playing for 3 hours and then get kicked out. But it's not a tournament. It is an actual game on Arena where the devs are probably taking as long as he is. Come on, Arena devs, fix this crap. At least make the board interactable. All right, we're just gonna play with our raccoon buddy. I'm just gonna GG him. Huh? Yeah. Draw. And that's not what I said. All right, we got a Gisa. That's a good card. Do I get to target him? Maybe? All right, and then he quits. Just terrible player all around. It's a fun arena experience for us. Okay, our opponent now is going to be the Venusia 89. Opponent goes first. Unfortunate, but we got Tinybone in the bat. 5 turns later, we'll get Gisa. Gotta draw lands though. Did they burn again? Oh, yes, they are. Mono faces Kakuzin. You, please? I could have held back a cut down, but Kumano faces Kakuzin usually push things out of my range. Light up the night, though. That's not what I expected. A different car. Play with fire. Should have done that before you drew. Does he not have lands? He's gotta have lands, right? One land. One lander. I mean, I'm playing on a two-lander, so... Did he draw land? He draw land. There was stick. Oh, it says for anger. Okay, not a land. No draw for you either. Would you like to keep going? No. Well... I also don't have a land, so you don't have to feel that bad, right? Maybe I can tax out his... next play. What do you have? Play with fire, lightning strike, ancestral anger, Shivan Devastator. Interesting. Alright. Did he draw a land? No? Just quit. Alright, that's... hold on to one land. Why don't you try to play the game that way? I only have two and I beat him. Okie doke. We're playing against Majin Foos. Is that like Majin Boos, but he's a fool? Alright, we don't get to go first anymore. And we have no one drop. There's 16 one drops in this deck. So, yeah, I have a Gisa. Because that's something. Do we want to try to bat into Gisa? Keep this hand? Do I have a one drop? No. There's a one drop. Alright, keep. Can put away a Tinybone. We don't need two. Red. Plot. We're just dead now. Do you think... Oh, these can't block. So, do they do anything? Making him discard a card when he has that many, it's not really that good of a deal. And from next turn on, I have to hold up 2 mana, so... Alright, never mind. It's already doing this thing. I could look at his hand. I'm not guaranteed to draw another land next turn. So let's do it. Let's hope that we draw cards. Draw lands, I mean. Godric, yeah. Alright, well we'll long goodbye this guy. Actually no. Let's go for the throw of this guy. So he doesn't get the celebration, his Godric is a 3/3. Haha. Oh man, you got greedy. We do draw land too. Great. So Tinybones when he has... I don't want to race him, but I'm gonna try. Racing against red's never smart, but I have a removal. Kumano, okay. He does need to play another thing. He doesn't have another thing. Then we'll kill it. Feels like there's a play, right? Let's see what the plays are. Does he have a lightning strike he wants to keep? He does. Aha! I got him. Trixie Hobbises. What's your last card? Oh, it just play with fire. Okay. So if that's the case, I don't want to play the Tinybones into nothing. He doesn't actually discard. And then whenever I play a legendary creature, then he mills. Okay, that's... I can deal 4 damage. And the Kumano is really annoying because none of my creature will die anymore. Alright, let's see what he draws. Maybe he holds it in his hand. I doubt it. Wow. Was not expecting that. The lightning strike, you gotta use it now. Shock. Target. I will play it. Haha. Make them use it for nothing. Should have targeted my face. Alright, this Kumano's a little bit scary, but good thing we got to cut down. Slick shot. That's tricky. Definitely want to kill the slick shot. But the Kumano is going to get me, right? It's fine. We'll get a stash. Get a Tinybone and mill him for 1, and also deal 1 damage to him. Oh man, I wish I didn't mill him. I do want to deal that 1 damage, but that mountain would have killed him. Mono red. Never step foot in my arena. At least got a rock. It's cute. How much was this rock? They charged you for a rock. I remember. It was not 0. They should have been 0. That's an April Fool's joke. Come on. Greedy. Alright, opponent's doing the rope thing. Every aggro player, every bad player does. Basically, when they're about to lose, they just rope. I mean, you can't win by, you know, being good at the game. You can always win by sheer luck, hoping your opponent DCs. I've DC'd a few times because of our opponent roping, so I understand what they're trying to go for. It's just kind of sad. And they have a lot of rope, so I guess we'll wait. Tick tock. Tick tock. This card actually tricks me because I thought it was bad in the skeleton deck, since I'm always gonna have skeleton even if it dies. But it actually says, you know, to solve, you control no suspected skeleton. So as long as this skeleton dies, I will have no suspected ones. Even though these are skeletons, they're not suspected, so I can still get the search, which is good. I need to search for Gisa to actually win the game. Not that I can ever play it. 3 lands. Okay, rope all the way to quit. What in tarnation? Alright, I guess we just wait. This is basically arena experience for everyone. I'm not even in Mythic. I'm like way down here in Platinum because I didn't want to grind. Is this like this in Mythic too? All the videos I've seen people playing, I think they just cut out most of this chaff. Alright, there's that Gisa that I can't play. So, you gonna lightning strike one of my cards? There's 6 damage on board. He needs to lightning strike with one of my cards to survive. Or I can rope. Rope always works. See how he still has a rope even though he burns everything down? It's fitting that the burn deck is always burning the rope. The irony. I mean, is that ironic or is it just fitting? Look at these cups of blood. When you tap it, you get rose petals out for some reason. They really need to put more into, like, the design of this board cannot have cost that much money, and they got several million from Lord of the Rings. They can design the board a little bit better. All right, welcome back, everyone. So now that you've seen those games, what do you feel about this deck? Because I have to say that now that you've seen those games, right? Every single one of those games, I don't know why, but Arena puts up against Red. Arena puts up against the worst players, and they rope all the time. So if you have the same conspiracy theory as me, I would not suggest playing this deck because the deck itself is fun. Going to your locals, bring this deck aggressively, fight some opponents. You're gonna have a fun time because when it pops off, it really pops off. But what you're not gonna have fun on Arena with this deck is because everyone just ropes you. And when you play an aggro deck and everyone ropes you, you just want to stop playing. You just want to go do something else. And that's what I feel like because I never get a good draw with this deck. And I won every game. I won every game without getting good draws. Just decent enough draws where I can put these tiny creatures in play and attack with them and win that way, right? So, just this is capitalizing on the fact that the life total is 20, and you can count to 20 very easily in this deck. But if you want to play a more sort of drawn out game, if you want to have more fun in a more control-y style, or if you want your opponent not to rope you every turn, I don't know about this deck. Still, I think Gisa, the question I have is, can Gisa work in a skeleton deck? Which is funny because she is Skeleton Lord, but I don't know if she can work in a skeleton deck since everything else is 3-drop. She's a 5-drop. I have 24 lands because I was hoping to actually cast a 5-drop, but you might be able to cut Gisa entirely, make a faster aggro deck that curves out on Corpse of the Lost, and only run like 22 lands, and maybe you'll have a better time aggressively pushing your opponent out than the way I did. So that's what I got for today's video. That's all I got for today's games. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.